All right. I guess welcome to the session. Today is April the 16th, 9:21 a.m. We are in California. So today we will talk about system landscape. So I know some people have asked me, or probably do not have any idea yet, even to ask, what is system landscape? You know, in like any other architecture, any other system, in IT architecture. So when they implement anything, right? Let's say Bank of America, it's all website, lot stuff, system architecture, stuff like that. Now just imagine Bank of America website is not working, or there's a small on the corner, there's a small check button, whatever it is not working. Okay, who fixes it? How do you fix it? Okay, in Amazon website, PayPal website, right? Then there's something is not working correctly, right? There's a small button that is missing, and there's a bug when you click the button, and it just takes you somewhere and stuff like that. It could be user specific, it could be across the board, right? Who fixes it? How they fix it? Any idea? Chandan, you?
Production
Who?
production team. Can you hear me?
Who will fix it? How will they fix it? What's the process? If I'm asking you to write a process, okay, you're a project manager or you're just a common person. How would you fix it? What's your thoughts on this?
Maybe
Right. That is correct. So when there's a production break, okay, I'm just trying to give a small example so that we all understand, right? The website is not working. This. If you go to ICICI Bank, most of the banking websites in India, they all have lots of trouble. The Government India websites or POA card. I've been struggling to complete my POA card for the last 3 years. Okay? It's just ridiculously poor design. Okay. When you call them, there's 1,000 people on the queue to apologize you, but they don't know how to fix it, right? But anyways, what I'm saying is, you're right. So there's a chain. So user raise an issue, it goes to the proper right development team. It has to get an approval, and there's a different tools they use. One is very popular now is ServiceNow. Okay, that's a tool called ServiceNow. You can write it down. You can Google it later. ServiceNow is very popular. Lots of companies are using it. It used to be HP ALM. Now ServiceNow is taking over. There's another tool called Remedy. Remedy is used for fixed assets or like Universal Studios, right? They have a lot of theme parks, amusement parks. Okay, they have system that something goes wrong. They use a Remedy solution, which is called Remedy, BMC Remedy. Like utilities companies, they use to service the equipments and customers or issues, all this stuff. Right? Okay. Now, yeah, like I said, ServiceNow is used. I think I have it already. ServiceNow. Okay. So you're right. Somebody goes and make the changes in the development system. This is called development environment. Okay. What's the difference between this? They are the same. Okay, but the base is the same. Basically, the configuration will be the same, right? And across all the boxes. Okay, what is configuration? Bank settings are configuration, right? They will be the same in the production. There has to be the same, right? Company code settings should be the same. Currency settings should be the same. Document type should be the same. Everything should be the same, right? Posting keys, whatnot, cost center, your controlling area settings, everything will be the same. But what will not be the same is your master data would not be the same. Transaction data would not be the same. So how many data we have in SAP? Transaction data, configuration data, and master data, right? Right? Can you guys write it down? Configuration data, transaction data, and master data. So configuration data would be the same, right? Because the system has to have the same setting, correct? Master data may not be the same because you don't use postings here. You don't really sell, or this is not a production system. You don't really sell. You don't really manufacture. Nothing here. So it may not be the same. But in production, will have all the master data. Quality may have little bit data because they are testing it. Okay, doing regression testing and all the testing. And the transaction data would not have transaction data. This will have some very limited transaction data just for testing purposes. They would have tested, right? Unit testing. They call it unit testing. Can you write down FUT? They call it FUT, functional unit testing, that happens in the development environment. Why they call it FUT? Because when you make a changes, you are only testing that particular functionality. That's called functional unit testing. When it goes to production, it has an impact in other areas, right? If you make a changes, maybe it is dependent on some other system, some other server, some other files, some other business processes, correct? You agree?
Yeah.
Yes. So that's why they call it here FUT. They did FUT. In the test one environment, they probably do UAT, user acceptance testing, okay, or market integration testing. There's a lot of testing, integration testing. There's a regression testing. There's a lot of testing cycles. Then they move to production. Okay, they make a change here. They recreate a transport. I know when you configure something, it creates a transport request. Okay, transport request is basically a change, you can say change carrier. Okay, you make a change. When I say transport means it is not the trucks, it's not the car, it's not the fleet. It's not those. It is just a transport that changes from here to here to here to here. So when you are here, this is your upstream system. They call it upstream system. When you are here, you call it downstream system. When I have an issue in production, hey guys, can you test this in downstream system? Okay, I have a problem here. Hey, this should work in upstream system because here we don't have data. Okay, that's what it is. Now, in most of the companies, they have a separate track for production. Sorry, production support, break fix, and maintenance. But project, they have a different projects. They have a different system. Okay, why? Why they have different track? This is called track. Okay, this is a production track, production fix track, incident management track, and here they call it project landscape track. Any idea why? See here, break fix transports, go here to the target groups and go to the test environment. This is the path. Project A transports go here, and then they also go here. Okay, they also even the product break fix transports also go here. Basically, they all have to be in sync. Any changes you make here, it has to be applied everywhere. Sandbox system is different. See, there's no connection here. Everything's connected, right? Everything's integrated, connected, but sandbox is not connected. What is a sandbox? Any idea? What do you know about sandbox?
Testing area. Testing area.
Correct.
Like when, okay.
Yeah, go. Tell me something. Yeah.
When we are implementing first time in the system, like if you want to show the configuration part, so we will use at that time. Means how the system is behaving according to business requirement.
Right. That is correct. That's called a sandbox. Basically, before you test something, okay, this is like a sandbox. When you go learn boxing, okay, what do you punch? Sandbox, right? You punch a sandbox. It can take whatever punches you give, right? Basically, testing your muscles, testing your power. So that's called sandbox. Sandbox is basically a system with all the whatever you want to try. You can create transport, you can test, create data. Let's say your manager asking to implement a new solution or new product design, new functional enhancements, whatever it is. You can go and check it. Okay, whether it's working or not. It doesn't mean that it will work everywhere because sandbox is not connected. the configuration would be different from this system to this system, correct? Because this is just your testing. This is like a not a testing system, like a sandbox, Okay, great. So companies will have different track for project, but however, they do a simulation environment here. But end of the day, it should go to production environment. Okay, so they call it IPC, regional instances, regional instance 2, regional instance 3. I don't know what they are. Okay. Yeah, so basically, they get one track for each of the regions. Okay, instance 1, 2, and 3. I don't know what is IPC, LRE. For example, think about this for the whole world. Okay, they have 4 systems, right? Similar, they have 4 systems for North Americas, 4 systems for AOA, 4 systems for AMS. Sorry, Europe. Okay, usually big companies, they split the world by zones. Okay, America's one zone, which includes, they call it AMS. Okay, which include, they call it AMS because Americas includes Canada, North America, South America, right? And then Europe, when you say EUR, the 3-letter code includes all the European, including British, right? Eastern Europe, Western Europe, British, everything. Poland, Austria, Hungary, Germany, France. Then second thing is, another thing is called AOA, Asia Oceania, right? AOA, Asia Oceania, which includes your Middle East, some part of Russia, like all this, Morocco, Yugoslavia, Czechoslovakia, and all this stuff. And in China, India, Thailand, Singapore, Malaysia, all these countries. AOA, Australia, New Zealand, they all become Asian. So what they're saying is this regional, right? 1, 2, 3 regions are there, but this landscape will be the same. Okay. So when you walk into a company, you have to kind of understand how many systems they have. Okay. What are the architectures they have? What systems are connected? This is just SAP. Okay. So what I was telling you is about upstream system, downstream systems. We covered it, and then how the transport is made and how they move from one system to another system. Why they have different testing systems, and difference between those systems. And 3 types of data: master data, configuration data, transfer data, and what are the differences? Got it? Yeah, the question was if they have multiple systems in multiple regions, right? How would they consolidate, and what, let's say, depending on the type of data they want to consolidate. So big corporations, obviously, they usually have rely on some third-party systems. There are several third-party systems for consolidation. Okay. SAP has its own consolidation, consolidation applications to in the landscape in order to consolidate all the systems from different regions. Okay. SAP had this ECCCS consolidation systems. Okay, so still some companies uses it. Like a lot of companies in Bay Area, they use it, ECCCS. No, actually they implemented SCM-BCS as strategic enterprise management in I think 2005 or something. They implemented, they brought a new package. A lot of several, they brought this new tool called strategic enterprise management, SCM, which includes BCS, BPC, lots of applications. Then BCS changed to ECCS, and ECCS changed to nothing. I don't know what they do now. That's why they use central finance. I was telling you the other day, right, when we went for a Hollywood hike. I don't know how many people listen, how many people are talking. So they use central finance. I know some people didn't want me to talk about central finance the other day, but that's okay. So central finance is the one system that uses for consolidation from non-SAP system to non-SAP system. Just imagine in Switzerland or in headquarters, in Atlanta, Georgia, Coke has its own headquarters, right? Now, they probably have easily 500, 600 systems, very complex, right? They will identify what data they want to bring in, what data they don't want to bring in, what data they want to change, transform, right? So they use some kind of consolidation system, which is the central finance, which is becoming very popular in SAP world, which is connected to the data and they consolidate and bring the data, transform the data, change the ledgers, change the cost center, change the company code. They can do all the good stuff. Okay, that's what they do within one system, which is your system. If you go to ECCCS today, right, you log into a system. What is the purpose of a company? What's the difference between company and company code? Age-old question.
A company is a group of companies. Company code is a specific legal entity.
Correct. So company, so which is used for consolidation, right? So basically, if you have one system, your consolidation happens within the company by company code. So company codes have a chart of accounts, operator chart of accounts, and company has a group chart of accounts. So you can actually integrate. That's how the consolidation works. Did I answer your question?
Yes, thanks.
Thanks. So now we go into the transport records, right? So what is the transport records? I know for now, if you have been working in SAP for quite some time, you would know what is the transport. Whenever you make changes, okay, SAP will say that, oh, this is, you have to create a transport. Okay, what do? You basically push the button and said create a transport. So, so transport is basically when you make a changes, okay. Now we talked about upstream system, downstream system in the system architecture, and how the changes actually move from one place to another place, right? Correct. So that's why whenever you make a changes, it gets changed, it gets saved in your transport records. The transport records looks like this. Okay. Yes. If you go to SC01, the transaction code for SC01, go to SC01. Go to SC01. So you can find all the transport created under my name. Okay. I hit enter. It's doing something. The transport organizer records. So this is the transport I created when I was doing this logo. I was uploading the logo into SAP screen. This is what I did. Check for duplicate. No, I think we did something. Yeah, Navin, I was showing to Navin about the duplicate check with the configuration which I did, just to show you. This is for logo upload. Okay, why? So when I did the logo upload, I made these changes. Okay, so this is a great example. So basically, the changes are, see, it's a development correction. Okay, it's a customizing request. So here's the thing: workbench request. Just forget about what I said. Workbench request, customizing request. Okay, this is the two important things here, which they're showing here: workbench and customizing. Right, workbench and customizing. In SAP, this is called workbench. This is customizing. Can you tell me what they are? So in SAP, there are two types of changes. There are two types of changes that you would make. Okay, one is configuration, which you guys create document type, company code, fiscal variant, posting period variant, all this stuff, right? That is called customizing. On the other hand, if you do any ABAP developments, if you touch the ABAP program, if you change the table, okay, if you your existing programs are not working correctly or not correctly, they are not sufficient for your business process, so you will go and create a ABAP development or make some substitution rules, make some blah blah blah, whatever it is, right? Now, how does it work? When you touch the ABAP development, it's become development correction. Okay, but here when you do customization, which is an SPRO, it is customizing task. So think about it. If you go to SPRO, most of them are customization. If you change, the development, that is called ABAP, anything to do with ABAP, new program creation, changing the existing program is called workbench request. Got it? So that is why when I go and change this reference check for duplicate invoices, I went to SPRO. Okay, look at this table, it changed. What is the table? T table stands for
Transaction.
what? T table stands for
Transaction.
what? T table stands for
Transactions.
what? T table stands for
Table names?
What T table stands for? Yamini, can you just flip your pages? The last 2-3 pages. I'm sure you wrote it down.
Okay.
What T table stands for? Okay, so T is in another YouTube video we shared this screen. We shared this. Okay, table starts with T is always a configuration table. Okay, you will find the table name in the configuration customizing request. You will find the table name in the customizing request. Right. So what did I do? I went to SE01. Okay, SE01. Okay, you can talk to somebody that you know, SAP guy who's working like 15-20 years. I'm 100% sure some of the things he wouldn't know. So what did I get? SE01. I'm just checking all the transport created under my name, right? And you know this is workbench request and customized request. Great. You can create a transport from here, but usually you don't. Okay, great. What is the use of this? You make the changes. This is the development system, and then if you wanted to move to your upstream systems. What is upstream system? Upstream system that one step above that leads to production track. Okay, they call it production track. Now, what you need to do is you have to release this guy. See here, release directly. What happens is when you release it, system will be, this will be available to import. This will be available to import in the upstream systems. When I release this, it will be available in the upstream systems. When you actually go and work in a real-time company, you will have lots of systems to play around with. Okay, but now I cannot show you, unfortunately. We have only one instance. This is how you have to get the understanding. So you have to release it. When you release it, what happens is the transport will be available in the upstream system. Similarly, when you release it, okay, when would you release it? You make all the changes. Okay, you did the testing, everything works fine. You get an approval from the user, end user, or your approval from the manager or your team lead, or somebody who vouches, somebody endorses, somebody says, yes, it's working fine, right? There's something called 4 Eyes principle, 6 Eyes principle. Huge companies follow this. Okay, all these are, this is a corporation, big corporations, they use it. They all come from, CFO, CEOs, all the driving initiatives, performance improvements. 4 Eyes principle is somebody doing it, somebody is watching it. They're totally 4 eyes. Correct? You got it? Right? Somebody's doing it, somebody's watching it, so that we don't make a mistake, right? All this are the continuous excellence, 6 Sigma. How many people know 6 Sigma? Black belt, right? So the 6 Eyes principle. 6 Eyes principle is somebody's doing it, somebody's watching it, somebody's approving it, or somebody's telling you, yeah, you did a good job. The big companies, that's what they do, right? Because if you make if something goes wrong, it is going to be colossal loss. If system is down for like an hour, just imagine what's a colossal loss for Coke, right? So it's huge. Okay, so we got this. So this is two types of transfer requests. Now another thing is like I said, SAP stores everything in a table. Okay, there is a table. This damn thing gets stored. This table called E070. And how would you know the table name? I actually found it, right? Nobody taught me, sit in the class and told me this is E070 table. How did I find it? I found it. How did I find it? How do you find the table name? Somebody? How do you find the table name? How would you find a table name?
Through F1, by doing the F1 and going to that.
Right. And then I can do this because this is a structure, right? I can get this information. However, somehow I found this, okay? Yeah, it's not here. Somewhere I found the table name. So basically why I'm using the table name, because in the transport management, now I told you, you release first. When you release, this will be available in the upstream systems. Then you go and import it. How would you import it, right? For example, I am in the test system. I released it, okay? Before I release it, like I said, you test it, you document it, you get an approval, right? From your manager, however it is that is working fine, then move forward. Then you release it. Once you release it, you cannot change again. You have to create another transport record. That is called release, okay? Now I can go and change as much as I want. I can go back and put back the change. I can reverse the change. I can do whatever I want, right? Correct? But once you release it, you cannot, it has to go to production. You have to make another change to reverse the change. You have to create another transport to reverse the change. Make sense? Confused? Right. Great. So now once you release it, you will not be able to make any changes. What is the other thing that I'm going to do here is I'm going to go to the transaction code. I think it's STMS. Yeah, transport management system. Can you all write it down? STMS.
Collection of collect.
You're talking to me? Okay. Right. See the transport management system. Okay. So this system is EH7. You only have one system. Assume that I log into AH7. Okay, AH7 is your upstream system, regression testing. Okay. So let's say I assume that I log in here. Then I click on import overview. So what this will do is it will tell me all the released transport ready to be imported. I released in the upstream downstream system, right? When I release it, because in the same track, that transport will come here. However, the changes are not implemented until I import. Okay, they will be here once it's released. Okay, import queue. So see, this is the production system, quality system, system VH7. They did some good job just to show, just to kind of give an idea on what they are. But in fact, actual fact, we only have one system. Double click here. import queue is empty because nothing is released, correct? So now let's say if it's released, then I will see it here, then I can, okay, then I click the transport and then I can import request. So if I do import request, everything will come from the downstream systems. If I don't see it here, okay, the target system is 300 and here itself is a target system, which is where I'm going to implement, which is this guy, right? So basically FTMS, STMS you will do in the target system. Source system, target system. What is source system? Source system is where you make changes. Target system is where you want to push the changes to, right? Where you want to implement the changes to. Make sense? Okay. So STMS, you can play around, go to STMS in the actual production system, and that's the production system. This is how, it's a very important concept. Actually, you want to learn transport, you have to go to basics class to learn this. But in the actual matter of fact, if you work, in SAP, in a couple of years or sometimes people work many years, they never know what is transport is, right? Because SAP is vast, not everybody knows everything, right? So that's called transport request. So how do you make it changes? How do you test it? How do you do FUT, regression testing, important testing, integration testing, all the testing, get a sign off and move the changes to production server. That is the use of transport. Transport has two types of transport. One is for customizing, which is an SPRO. The other one is ABAP, which is workbench request, which we saw here. Okay, transportable, local, modifiable, and release. So if it's a transportable, okay, if the request transportable, or you can, there are some transportable, some changes are you directly go and make in the production system, make in the system. Okay, so for example, number ranges. Number ranges you don't really transport from one system to another system. Some people ask the question in interview. How do you, do the number range? Number ranges you don't really make changes because you directly go and make changes in production. What is the logic? Because transaction system does not need number range, right? Not much, right? So you basically, it can be your numbering system can be different. So it can be, it doesn't have to be synced with all the system, right? Posting period, right? So those are you can do directly in production. Your currency updates you can directly do in production, but they are T tables too. Currency table stores in TCURR table, TCUR table, right? But still, even though it's a configured, some there are transportable, non-transportable. Okay. Is it modifiable? It's still not really respective. Created one of therefore more task change can be added, completed before the TR finalized. Now it's modified. So you can make changes. Once released, no more changes can be sent to the target system using this TR, what is called transport. Okay, that's what I was telling you, right?